Yes, I'm looking to talk to a reporter. Might have a story you guys might be interested in. Well, it's kind of a complicated one, but I think it'd be more of will start off as a human interest and then work its way up to something way bigger than I am. It involves a false allegation, it involves police brutality, and then it involves some corruption. Hi, I was just put through to voicemail. I was just wondering if he's around because I'm sitting out front of your building right now, and I just got his voicemail. But being at 4, is there someone else that I can maybe talk to? I have something to. I have something to hand off to be reviewed first. So, well, I'm outside in the parking lot. Yes. Sure. Thanks. Bye. Hi, I was just speaking to someone and they said they'd send a reporter down.
I'm sorry?
I was just speaking to someone on the phone.
Yeah.
On hit 3, and they said they're going to send a reporter down.
Okay.
So I'm just waiting, I guess.
Okay, if someone doesn't come back or come down soon, there's a cross thing on the wall there on the phone.
Okay.
On the phone, and you can reach the newsroom right away.
Sure, thank you. I got a story that you guys might be interested in. For me, it's 3 years old. Since the police have been involved, it's been 2.5 years old, and since the courts have been involved, it's been 2 years, and still ongoing. What I've done, I've briefly laid it out. I don't know if you're interested to just look at that. And if you are, then this might actually end up being bigger than me personally with whatever I'm dealing with, due to the fact of, on the data stick, there's a lot of information to go through. In one of the file folders, there's an affidavit. I blocked out some names with regard to some corruption of some very influential people in the city. And everything seems to tie into my situation.
Have you been convicted of anything?
Not yet. No? Well, I'm not saying not yet. I don't plan on to, but...
Is it still before the courts?
Yes, it is. Now, there's different elements to this story. As you could probably briefing that. The precursor, the backstory to the event of when the officers had come and handcuffed me and beat me, it all led up. Now I know it's before the courts, and I don't anything with regards to the courts and so forth is not. Well, there's one file folder in there that contains some information with regards to that, but really it's the backstory to that, and this whole thing has escalated into one big mess and it's been extremely stressful in my life. Yeah, it's costed me tens of thousands, and I just recently fired my second defense lawyer on that. I did practice law in Ontario for 8 or 9 years as agent and stuff, so I'm very familiar with the processes with regards to that. And the backstory is part of it as why the officers had come that night when I was audio recording the conversation, and it's true that the underlying issue is, for me anyway, I've done a lot of research on the topic with regards to women making false accusations, and then it seems that society automatically feels that, oh, there has to be some validity to it. And in this sense, there was absolutely zero. Zero. She has had, according to some of the documentation I received through one of the disclosure packages, she has a history of doing this. And for me, it's...
Okay, this is really, really, really involved.
Yes.
Wow. This would take a long time to get through this. This is a major project.
And with regards to the backstory, a position that I had where I resigned from, a very influential, well-known person in the city had, I'm trying to think how to wordcraft this, actually wanted to see if I want to be involved with the female in question, and I said no. Like I just came to Alberta, you know, I got this good position. I didn't even think much of it.
Yeah.
And then the false anonymous tip that led up to that false accusation, based on what knowledge and evidence that I have, ties into this little group of very influential individuals in the city. It's bigger than me.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm getting drowned out in the courts, because it just seems like when the officers assaulted me, they beat me while I was handcuffed. I guess from their perspective, from what I understand, it was a form of street justice. But however, when they realized that, now they're trying to cover their asses.
Okay.
And everyone's trying to cover their asses. The information, like Alberta Health Services has been involved.
So you've lodged a formal complaint against the police.
Yeah, 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago.
Law Enforcement Review Board, have they been involved in this?
All I've been doing is getting letters from professional standards saying that their investigation's ongoing. And actually I found some case law with regards to that, and the judge at the time said 13 and a half months is ridiculous for your investigation in order to proceed, right? Well, we're looking at more than twice that time.
Yeah.
So it's one. Now I've kind of given you a summary here. I've given you kind of a verbal summary.
Yeah.
But what's on there is evidence. It's not even my story. There's no narrative of me on there. Some of the files I omitted because I have a package that I've sent out across the board everywhere.
Okay.
About a year and a half ago, I contacted this in Ontario. That's where I'm from. That's where I was actually planning. I should be there now, but since this happened, they actually said to me, and other agencies said, well, your civil matter against them and everything is still pending. You might want to reconsider before you proceed. But you know something? The way everything is transpiring, I really don't care.
Doesn't matter.
I really don't care anymore. I mean,
When's your next court date?
I'm not sure. I just had one, and I had terminated my lawyer, so
Okay.
everything is still up in the air. It's going to be in the new year, obviously.
So this is a charge of...
They ended up just charging me with assault and obstruction.
Okay. So that's going on now. That's going forward.
That's what's going on. They were anticipating, and they even testified to this, all these other allegations, but then when they realized, oops,
It's you contend that they're the ones obstructing.
well, I mean, I guess that's one way of looking. Well, I have medical reports. My hands, I'm officially disabled. You can see that's it for my right hand. They put a gun to my head. They testified to wanting to shoot me, but then they couldn't. They said it was a taser, but then there was no record of them signing out a taser, and then I have my lawyers. Because of my background, I'm able to keep on top of them. I fired the first one, and I have this since all this, a bad case of post-traumatic stress. So I was relying on my lawyers because anytime I have to relive this telling the story, I just...
it doesn't help. It's not easy.
No, but now I'm on record for myself. I'm a lot, mentally, I'm able to focus a lot more than I am a year ago.
Okay.
But,
okay. Well, I can take this. Have a look. I'll see.
I don't know if this is, once you start peeling back the layers and you start getting to what I was telling you about these very influential individuals, this could be, I don't know, man. I really don't know. And this is not where I want to be in life. As I said, I'm at the point now. Excuse my language, don't give a shit anymore about anything. I've heard everything from the sexual assault allegation. There's also another male colleague. I don't know anything about it other than it was an anonymous tip to a third party, unaffiliated to the organization, via an untraceable email. And only thing I found out afterwards was that one of the higher ups, that was their friend.
Yeah.
And this individual and I, we had a bad falling out, and in fact, they were in the news about other things. And when this started coming out, I'm like, okay, I really don't want anything to do with this nonsense.
Okay.
The evidence that's in there, as I said, it's not my narrative. There's audio recordings from before the May 4th event. There's audio recordings after. And if I'm going to be judged on this, I don't want to be... There's this huge narrative by the police and everybody. And, well, I shouldn't say everybody. Everyone who has what's in your hand realizes, oh, damn. You're done.
Especially something like this. Something along these lines.
Well, see, when the officers came to I guess it's called the scene, nobody for 4 months prior, 5 months, knew what I was up to with audio recording her. Somehow, when they found the audio recorder on, my person on, and he testified it was on, I got it back, everything's erased. Other few recordings I didn't have a chance to transfer to my computer, my laptop, were on there, and they deleted everything. I mean, this whole thing had just snowballed to where it is today.
Okay.
It'd probably take you to go through that material, if you take your time and really, probably take you, an hour.
Yeah. Okay.
And once that's done, if you're interested, then when I do give my narrative, then all I'll be doing is filling in the gaps of the evidence.
Okay. Well, I'll take this out. I'll take this along.
Do you have a card?
Yeah, but it's upstairs.
So I can get your name and number if you can. Okay. Okay, thank you. And do you have any comments? Do you think this is something the paper would be interested in? The fact that I was gathering evidence not only to vindicate myself, but to prove other things, like one example that I gave you. Yeah, so there's a lot of dynamics to it. So if by chance your paper is not interested in the story, then I'll just grab the data disk back, if that's fair. And, okay?
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Wash my hand, please, yeah.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. I know.